Hello, I'm Marston, and welcome to our third video in this series of videos in which I try to give you some information about our most recent releases. Today's video is devoted to Marston's most recent release, which is devoted to the great French mezzo-soprano Marie Delna. Truly one of the great voices on record, and I think when you hear Delna you will not be able to disagree with me in any way. The voice comes through with an unbelievable presence and clarity, and she's one of the most committed singers that I know, and a singer who I have enjoyed listening to for most of my life. Delna recorded a rather small number of records. She made about 20 records for Pathé. She made 5 Edison cylinders and 3 Edison diamond discs. And this CD that Marston has issued contains all of her known published recordings. The Pathés date from 1903 to 1907, and then there are 2 Pathés from 1918, and the Edison cylinders and discs date from 1910 and 1913. I can't say enough about Delna in terms of how marvelous she is. And as a matter of fact, already on the internet, there's been a good deal of buzz about Delna all of a sudden, which of course makes me very happy because I love to hear that sort of thing. And it's very important that people realize what a great singer she was, because Delna really didn't have a career in the States. She made one appearance here at the Met. She came here in 1910 and had a rather disastrous time of it. She got into a big battle over Tempe with Toscanini, and they did not get along at all, and Delna was forced out. Basically, she was given only a handful of performances to sing, and she went back to Paris rather embittered about the Met. Delna was an amazing singer because one thing was that she was discovered it was discovered that she had a voice because she was working in a restaurant that was owned by a relative of hers, and as a youngster she was it was recognized that she was singing in the kitchen one day, and a famous voice teacher heard her sing and asked about her, and then began to promote her and got her some education in singing. And by the time she was 18, she had already debuted at the Opera in Paris. Her debut was in Les Troyens of Berlioz, and that was in 1892. And very shortly afterward, she appeared as quickly in the Paris premiere of Verdi's Falstaff. And Verdi actually came to Paris to prepare the cast and prepare the production, and he was extremely impressed with Delna. And then Delna came to the attention of Jules Massenet, and Massenet chose Delna to be the first Paris Charlotte in Werther. She was only 20 or 21 when she appeared as the first Charlotte, so her career began very, very early. She was noted for a number of new roles. She sang in she sang the title role in the Bruno's Attaque du Moulin, and a number of other operas that are no longer in the repertoire. But she also continued to sing Werther for quite some time. She also sang Carmen, and continued to also sing some Berlioz roles as well. Not to mention, I almost forgot, Fidesz in Le Prophète of Meyerbeer, and of course Dalila in Saint-Saëns' Samson et Dalila. So she had a wonderful repertoire that really showed her voice off in great measure. And her recordings began in 1903 when she was in London singing Covent Garden. She made 3 Pathés in London, and you can hear these on our release. They actually have an announcer announcing the recordings in English with a very slight French accent. And then in Paris, she made some more Pathés between 1903 and 1907. And then in 1910, when she came to the States, she made 5 Edison cylinders. In 1913, she was again in London and made 3 Edison diamond discs. And then her last 2 records were made for Pathé in 1918 or 19 in Paris. And her career came to a close in the early 20s. We're not really sure when she stopped singing. We don't know when her last performance was, but it was sometime around 1921 or 22. She was one of these singers that was really larger than life in a certain way, like Calvé. When you read interviews with Delna, she comes across as having a huge personality and very strong opinions about music and about other performers. And as I said, she certainly had a great deal to say about Arturo Toscanini. Basically, she said in public that Toscanini sabotaged her Met performances. That's fascinating because you don't hear very many singers speaking up against Toscanini. Now, my interest in Delna goes back many, many years. I like to tell this story because it perhaps adds a personal touch to this CD reissue. I was attending school in a school for the blind in the late 1950s and early 60s, and when I was 10 years old, we were required to take a course in typing. So I was learning how to type, and I had already gotten very interested in the phonograph and things related to the phonograph. And it turned out that we had to type letters as examples of our good typing. And I decided that I was going to use my typing skills and I was going to write to the Edison Company and ask if they could provide me with any recordings of Thomas Edison speaking. I had never heard Thomas Edison speak, but I was fascinated, and somebody had told me that there was a recording of Edison speaking. So I wrote to the Edison McGraw Company, or maybe it was the Edison Voice Writer Company. I don't know. I think my typing teacher got me the address, and I wrote to anybody there, and I received a very nice reply from the Edison people, and they sent me a little 7-inch long-playing record which contained a recording of Thomas Edison's famous diamond disc recording speech entitled "Let Us Not Forget." However, what else was on this record was a recording of Marie Delna singing "My Heart at Thy Sweet Voice," as it was entitled on the record label, from Samson and Delilah. And it turned out that I played this record over and over again, and Marie Delna became an obsession with me. I just played that Samson aria over and over again, and it completely eclipsed the recording of Thomas Edison speaking, which had given me which was the reason for me to write to the Edison Company in the first place.